Hey guys, this is Aaron. I'm Carnivore Broadcaster on Instagram, and I wanted to talk about my carnivore diet experience. It has now been 6.5 months, believe it or not, since I started the carnivore diet. I have multiple autoimmune diseases, Sjogren's syndrome and lupus, and I've been incredibly sick since I was probably about 16 years old. Started having terrible problems for times in my life, and for long times in my life, I've been basically bedridden. About a year and a half, I really reached the bottom of my entire existence. Every single day since I was 16 has been dedicated to trying to find out what was wrong with my health and to try to help it, and nothing has ever helped, even in the slightest bit, until now. Every day was an experiment. So about a year and a half ago, I could not get out of bed. I was extremely sick. I looked sick. I felt sick. I had absolutely no hope in life. I knew at that point that I was never going to get married. I was never going to fall in love. I was never going to reach any of the goals that I had inspired myself with my entire life. And at that point, I had decided that I had had enough, that I was going to commit suicide. I actually talked to my parents. We talked and cried for hours, telling them about this on the kitchen floor. I'll never forget the day. So I decided it was over. I went home and basically took a couple of days just to think about it. And for some reason, I just decided that I was going to try to give it another chance. In the back of my mind, I knew I could always commit suicide. That was always there, that option if I wanted it. But now I was going to try something else. So I went to a health practitioner and we started on the autoimmune protocol diet for about a year, and it barely helped. It helped a little bit. It helped really to the point where I thought that maybe diet could influence the way that I felt more than I ever thought. Cutting out the grains, the soy, the gluten, and everything else maybe helped a little bit, but I was still extraordinarily miserable. I've always been at the point where I thought that I might have to resign from my job at any point, just barely holding on and not having any enjoyment of life whatsoever. I turned on the Joe Rogan podcast. I watched Michaela Peterson. I watched Sean Baker. They talked about the carnivore diet, and I thought it was absolutely crazy. Eating just meat. And we have been taught for years and years and years, banged into us by health practitioners, that you absolutely have to have fruits and vegetables to be healthy. So I believed it, just like pretty much everybody else probably believes it. But I thought, I have nothing to lose, so I'm going to try this carnivore diet for a week. So I went out and I bought some steak, I bought some hamburger, a bunch of chicken. I was eating chicken at the time, and started the carnivore diet. About a week later, I noticed that I didn't really feel better, but I didn't feel worse. So anytime where I tried something over the years where I didn't feel worse, that was encouraging to me. So I decided that I would stick with the carnivore diet. Started researching it even more and decided probably about the 2-month mark to go exclusively into beef. So I started researching butchers around the area, and at that point I've been just beef and water ever since, and a couple of organs maybe about once a week. And I started to get better. I've been on 4 prescription medications for my entire adult life. Plaquenil, a lupus drug, and a Sjogren's syndrome drug. My doctor told me, you are going to have to take this for the rest of your life, and there is nothing else that you can do about it. Well, it's now been 4 weeks at the time of this recording, and I've been off my Plaquenil for 4 weeks. And the goal for my life is to never, ever take that medication again. There's another medication I was on for my thyroid that was not working properly because of my autoimmune symptoms. I've been off the thyroid medication now for a couple of months. There was a point where I realized my heart was racing. I could not calm it down, and I did the diagnostic test, and my heart was over 100. And I realized at this point, well, my thyroid is working better, and this hormone is causing my heart to race. So I went off my thyroid meds, and I have never looked back. And now I'm on another medication, Evozac, for well over a decade. It's for Sjogren's syndrome, to promote tears and sweat and everything else that you can't produce when you're suffering for that autoimmune problem. I'm now taking about 1/3 of my dose. I'm also on low-dose naltrexone, which a lot of people might know if they have autoimmune problems. I'm taking 1/3 of that dose. So Plaquenil, it's gone. Thyroid medication, completely gone. LDN, low-dose naltrexone, 1/3 of my dose. Evozac, 1/3 of my dose currently taking. And my goal for my entire life is to get off every single prescription medication and every supplement and take absolutely nothing for the rest of my life. And I think I'm on my way. 6.5 months into this carnivore diet, eating only beef, no salt, 2 medications gone, 1/3 of the dose in the other 2, and I'm finally, for the first time in my entire life, beginning to have optimism, enjoying life, dating, really experiencing the things for the first time, what it is truly like to live. And I had just been kind of sleepwalking and treading water and just trying to get through life and endure it and just try to enjoy things the best that I could, but it was miserable. And now for the first time, really, it's kind of an awakening in my eyes that really everything is possible in life if you give yourself a chance to heal your body. If you're out there, if you're feeling depressed, if you're sick, if you think that things can't get better, take it from me, they can. Things are not perfect. I have a lot of improvements still to make, but for the first time in my life, I think that things are looking very, very optimistic for my future, and things can look optimistic for your future too. I'd like to thank Sean Baker, certainly Michaela Peterson, Tristan Haggard, and all the people who have inspired me over these several months to try the carnivore diet and to stick with it. It's great meeting you guys on Instagram, talking to you, hearing your stories, answering your questions. The carnivore diet community has been spectacular up to this point, and I hope that we can promote wellness and health, and people struggling with no hope can get some hope into their lives and can continue to fulfill their lives with meat and meat products and eliminate all the plants and the plant toxins. Whatever might work for you to get yourself healthy, you have a chance to do it. Thanks a lot for listening, guys. I appreciate it. Talk to you later.